Welcome to another Cardano update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. And we have many things to talk about in this video. First of all, as you can see, we have a 1-2 setup now. I did talk about this on the Discord server. I did say that what we had over here could turn into a 5-wave move, and it turns out we did exactly that. So this is no longer a 3-wave move, it's a 5-wave move, and the first wave looks to be in. Right now we seem to be in a second wave move down. Support for that is between 90.6 cents and 88.5 cents, so as long as we stay above the 618 we should be fine. And we should start the third wave. Also keep in mind, the red trend line is about to be tested, and this is where we got rejected many times in the past, as you can see. So if we can use it as support, then that could act as the perfect reason to start a third wave. But if we break below it, it could just do something like it did over here, for example. And if that happens, you have to be aware of the fact that this structure could turn into a much bigger ABC, and I do have to say this is not really gonna be bullish because the C wave will probably put us at 81.6 cents, and if we do not hold this support level, it's gonna mean that the other bigger 1-2 setup, this much bigger 1-2 setup here, is gonna turn into a much bigger ABC, and if it is, even though we got a reaction to support, it could mean that this was the A wave and right now we're in the B wave, meaning we're about to drop in the C wave. And don't get me wrong, dropping to the C wave is not gonna be too bearish because after that we're still expecting a bounce. So no matter if we go up right now or if we go down, both of these scenarios are bullish, and there is something on the daily chart that I want to show you. We are about to test, well actually we are testing the moving average right there. And why is this important? Because that's exactly what we tried doing over here as well, and we broke below it. So if we close this like this today, it could be bullish because we can then use the moving average to get a bounce and start the much bigger third wave of the 1-2 setup on the chart. However, if we close below it, it could be a sign that we're about to start the much bigger C wave, and that could put us at 72 cents. If we hold support, we should be able to get to about $3.50 in the third wave of the third wave. I'm expecting the main third wave right now to only be an ABC structure because we're not really gonna have time for the much smaller wave counts. And this means I'm still expecting a fourth and a fifth after that, but I'm definitely gonna start taking some profits in this area because you never know. So I think Cardano is gonna do just fine. And now I want to quickly talk about Bitcoin dominance because people for some reason are still complaining that we are not at all-time highs, even though it does not really make sense for us to be at all-time highs right now, because Bitcoin dominance, as you can see, is not at all-time lows or cycle lows. And if you look at what happened in 2017 over here, if you first look at the Cardano chart, Cardano was at 8 cents in November of 2017, and it went from 8 cents to about $1.31 in a matter of a couple of months or even weeks. And why did this happen? Because back then, in 2017 at the end of the year, we had this drop on the Bitcoin dominance chart, which put us from 71% all the way down to 35%. This was the real altcoin season. This is when Cardano went up quite a lot. And what do you know? We only got an all-time high on the Cardano chart when Bitcoin dominance was at these lows. And if you look at the previous cycle right here in 2021, when did Cardano start going up like crazy? It was going up like crazy when Bitcoin dominance was doing this. And the altcoin season historically only happens after Ethereum breaks its all-time highs. And this is what we did in the previous cycle. As you can see here, we broke above the all-time highs in about, let's say, January of 2021. And why is this relevant? Because usually after Ethereum outperforms Bitcoin, that's when the altcoins start outperforming Ethereum, and that's what leads to a much bigger dominance drop. Now I want to talk about the ADA dominance chart, and this chart just had a cross on the bull market support band if you zoom in on this. And usually this is a good sign, and you have to be aware of the fact that we keep closing wicks above the bull market support band and the 200-day moving average, and even above the moving average on the weekly RSI. And this is very good because that's exactly what we were doing back here as well. So no, we are still not late. Of course, if it's like December or maybe the end of December and Cardano is still not almost at all-time highs or even above new all-time highs, then you could say that maybe we're not gonna get to all-time highs in this cycle. But so far, I think we are doing okay. Even ADA Bitcoin right now is waiting to do the exact same thing that it was doing in the previous cycle. I talked about this in the member videos, but yeah, other than that, I want to quickly look at the Ethereum chart, and this is also going to be important because here we are about to test the moving average on the RSI yet again. So if we close below it today, we are probably dropping in the support zone, which in this scenario would actually be the more bullish scenario. So if we do that, we're still expecting another high after that. And Bitcoin, as you can see, it's still above the bull market support band, which is good. We did get some rate cuts yesterday. We got a 0.25% cut, so that could lead the market to get a move to the upside. That's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed. Again, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.